into our preview for today's game. But go ahead and enjoy a live look at the Stars bench in their road navy blues, waiting for the Genesis Hockey Club to come on out of the locker room, as well as the officials. We'll get rolling here momentarily. Ice has been cut. We're getting set. Stick around. This is Midnight Sports.
This broadcast is streamed and produced by Midnight Sports and is not affiliated with any hockey organization, club, or team. Midnight Sports is comprised of hockey parents who stream games for friends and family who cannot attend the games in person.
Hello and welcome on in to the IceWorks Skating Complex in Aston, PA. We've got a good one for you in our second game of the triple header here on Midnight Sports. It's the Stars taking on the Genesis Hockey Club Diamond 2 team they saw earlier this season. In fact, at the first EJ showcase. And so Genesis will look to avenge that 6-1 loss to the Stars. The Stars, of course, would love to pile on. Stars coming in after having already won this morning 5-1 against the Pennsylvania Huntsmen. They were able to turn the tails on the Pennsylvania Huntsmen, a team they lost to in the first EJ showcase. But it was the Stars absolutely flipping the script in that game. And so 1W already on the weekend, and it'll be the Stars trying to add to that win total here today on a Saturday afternoon. It's beautiful outside, but it's even nicer inside here in Aston, PA. And so we can't thank you enough for joining us right here on Midnight Sports. 1:40 left to go on the warm-up clock. We're going to give you some royalty-free music and an extended look in before Game 2 of the Stars October EJEPL Showcase. This is Midnight Sports. Strategy at their own bench. And so, excuse me, at their net, I should say. It's a little cold for Game 2 of the doubleheader when you've spent 2 hours in the rink already. Need to shake out the cobwebs a little bit, but that's just what we'll do based on the puck cleanup. Looks like it's going to be John Weiss's net here for Game 2 of this EJ showcase for the Stars. Players collect around Coach O'Brien, getting ready. And we'll talk over that music now. In any event, thanks from the truck for the heads up on that one. All right, looks like it'll be Johnny Weiss's net. Players surround Coach O'Brien for some last-minute instruction. And Patrick Donaghy takes up his seat in the penalty box there as the backup netminder acquitted himself very well this morning, of course, against the Huntsmen. And Coach O'Brien throws Nikolaitis, Bolonik, Litovsky, Druda, and Kocher over the boards to start this one off. And in Game 1, we had a little difficulty following along with the clock on the scoreboard. And so we'll see if we can do a better job of it this time. A reminder, it's just really a suggestion, the clock on your screen. but we try to keep the goals straight at the very least. In any event, this will be Bolognic at center ice for the drop, just waiting on the officials to finish up in the Genesis. And Genesis in their home white sweaters, Stars in their road navy blues. Boards being pounded, goaltenders being checked. We are ready to roll here in just a moment as the players broke in just a moment too soon, as the officials saying they're happy to take as long as it takes to keep the players out of the circle. In any event, it's Genesis picking up the puck, but Latovsky carries it just a little bit farther, and it'll roll to Kocher, who dumps on in, and the Stars give chase. It's Nikolaitis on the forecheck on the far side. Latovsky joins him. Puck rolls up to Kocher. He's able to drop it. Scored by Nikolaitis. Oh boy, you don't see that every day. It was a dump in, and Nikolaitis got his stick on the ice. It came up to Kocher at the near point. He throws it across. Nikolaitis able to redirect that on net, and just like that, 17 seconds into this one, we've got a goal and an early one-goal Stars lead. That thrown in on net by the Stars once more. Nikolaitis on the forecheck, able to wash his man out of the play. Genesis breaks out in the other direction, but we will just get a stoppage in play here as we have some helmets stuck together on the far side of the ice. It was Nikolaitis and the man he had sized up in that far corner. And so the whistle blows, and there was just a shot on goal by the Stars. No penalty coming for either team. Sometimes the equipment gets tangled up, and that's exactly what happened there. And so it'll be a far circle drop. And if you're just sitting down and turning on the game, you've already missed what was a fluky goal, but turns out they all count the same. It was a dump in off the stick of Kocher. Nikolaitis able to get stick on puck and redirect it into the back of the net. There was a Kocher shot there from the point once more. That one in the air. Nearly home once again. Genesis offside here, though, on the delayed call, and so we'll get a stoppage with 24:05 left to go in this first half. Reminder, this is an EJ game. Not a surprise when I told you it was an EJ showcase at the top of the broadcast, but 2 25-minute halves. The teams will not switch sides. And so the Stars will be moving left to right on your television screen or radio dial if you're just listening in for both halves. This is O'Leary to take the drop. Got Rosick behind him, Viscoso, and Ramos as the defensive pairing, and Bizarro will be in the slot. It's O'Leary winning that forward. Genesis throwing it on up and out. The home run Genesis pass still in full effect. And that puck comes all the way in on Weiss, who makes the save. He'll cover up, and by his team, a defensive zone draw. It was a shot on goal, nothing more by Genesis. About a 200-foot shot on goal, a bank shot at that. Banks are open on Saturday here in Pennsylvania. In any event, it's Genesis taking that face-off win up to the near point. Pizarro on the back check separates his man from the puck. O'Leary goes to work to try and get that puck up and out. Rolling puck side of the cage. It's going to be shepherded up by Ramos. And out of the zone it comes. It was Rosick who did the work. Pizarro tries to find him on a stretch pass. This one might go for an icing. It was just out of Rosick's reach. And so we'll do it all over again. Back in the Stars zone with 23:37 remaining to go here in the first half. Now puck's dropped. O'Leary wins that cleanly back to the end boards and then picks up the puck at the bottom of the circle and gets it up and out of the zone. In full flight there was Rosick, nearly carried the puck with him. Genesis, though, happy to get in the way and break up any fluidity for the Stars. It's Genesis back on the puck right in front of the camera well. They'll drag it back to their own end. Off the boards it goes and into the Stars zone. This is now Ramos picking up the puck, and he carries it and sends it up. He was looking for a deflection, and he gets it. So no icing on the Stars as Rosick is on the forecheck. It's Genesis trying to pull that puck up and out. Far side of the ice. It takes the deflection. Turning and firing was Rosick. He wasn't far away on that one. It was a bang-bang play. Stars nearly doubled their lead. It's now Bizarro with the puck in the near corner. It's going to roll on up to the near half wall. Gorloff pinches in to keep the zone. He does. Shot comes on. It's deflected to the side and corralled by the Genesis defenders. Genesis happy to just get this puck up and out of the zone. No icing called there as it was close enough to a Stars stick on the Genesis end-to-end dump. It's now Bergman on the forecheck, seeing the ice for the first time this afternoon, joined by Izakov there. Gorloff for support. Kocher gets all the way back. Russo far side of the ice. This is Genesis trying to get the puck up and out once more. That one is touched, and so no ice incoming as Kocher tracks back in front of the Zamboni doors. Going to leave it there for Izakov is Russo. Russo gets the return pass. Bergman up the right wing, stays on side, gets the soft pass from Russo, and it's Bergman getting it back at the end boards. It's now the Stars going to work at the end boards, trying to get this puck out toward the net front where Izakov awaits. Izakov fires to the corner on the puck, tries to work it up to Kocher at the point. Genesis, though, able to spring the puck up past the blue line, and then it pinballs around in the neutral zone a bit. Shot comes in. Weiss able to just stick aside softly to the near corner. It's Genesis trying to set something up once more. They'll dump in and give chase. Gorloff back for the puck in front of the Zamboni doors. Rolling puck's going to find Russo. Russo sends it up and out of the zone. Genesis dumps in once more. Weiss out of his net to settle the puck for Gorloff behind the net. It's a bouncing puck that finds a Genesis stick near side of the ice. Izakov fires on it behind the cage, throws it up toward the blue line, sits in the slot. Weiss able to shrug that off into the netting. He had to be alert, and he was. Ended up throwing the big shoulder on that one, and so it's a shot on goal for Genesis. Nothing more in that sequence, though. 21:08 left to play here in the first half. Weiss stands tall for the Stars. Well, don't be dissuaded from the early Stars goal. This is a good Genesis team, and even that 6-1 game that the Stars played earlier, oh boy, that was a big hit from Viscoso. Separated his man from the puck. Stars carry it across the logo. In any event, even that 6-1 early game in the season was still relatively close until near the end, and so expect this to be a good hockey game through and through as the Stars look to break out of their own end. O'Leary picks up that puck, sends it past the blue line to clear the danger. Here comes Genesis back in the other direction. It's Genesis on the puck, side of the cage, all the way to the end boards. Stars await in front to prevent any shot from coming in. Genesis has it far side of the ice. They had made a change while in the offensive zone. They'll dump in once more. Viscoso fires on his man, side of the cage. Genesis has it at the end boards. Ramos pushes his man wide. Now getting up to the top of the point was Davios, and he was able to force his man into an early pass. Getting back into position there was Gitman momentarily as the Stars were trying to make a change. And now it's Litovsky in a mini break. Look out, it's Litovsky all the way in. And it was a poke check and a butte from the Genesis netminder. Onward we play. Genesis carries the puck up and out of their end. They'll carry it forward and try to dump into the offensive end. Druda able to get in the way of his man. Tried to work it up to Litovsky. Instead, he'll track all the way back to his own end and work it up to the near side of the ice. Here's Genesis keeping the puck in the zone. They'll fire it all the way across. Will Genesis and have to pick it up in front of the Zamboni doors. It's Genesis once more near half wall, but they can't get past Litovsky, who's going to carry it forward. Litovsky joined on the rush by Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis picks up that puck on the far half wall, tries to work it up to the near point. He does. Kocher fires on it. Stars keep the zone. Give and go for Nikolaitis, who fires in. He was looking 5-hole, and it was saved nicely by the Genesis netminder. Stars try to fire it back in. Kocher keeps the zone at first. Bouncing puck comes across to Litovsky. Litovsky nearly pulls the trigger. Puck rolls off a stick. Here comes Genesis back in the other direction, but it was Litovsky with the back check. He gets that puck back on the backhand. It flutters in front, and it's covered up by the Genesis netminder. After the Stars had a couple of chances there, and the Genesis goaltender's glove was all that separated the Stars from a 2-0 lead. Well, this will be O'Leary far side of the ice to take the drop. Stars with the puck momentarily. O'Leary gets it back, fires in, and it's saved off the shoulder of the Genesis netminder. Druda now at the point. Sends one in to be deflected. It goes just wide of the cage. Stars absolutely buzzing here, but it looks like perhaps Genesis man may be going to the box. We'll see. Or perhaps the net just off its moorings. Whistle blew while Genesis was touching the puck. And hence the hypothesis that ended up being wrong. Still 5-on-5 hockey out there. This will be O'Leary at the dot. Gruda and Kocher behind him. Rosick on the near side of the circle. It was Bizarro in the slot, but Genesis does have that home run pass connect this time. Genesis all the way in. Weiss with a breakaway save. So credit them one apiece for each goaltender out here on the breakaway saves. This will be Genesis dumping in once more. Bouncing puck well off the end boards. Boy, that was an old Joe Louis arena bounce off the end boards there out in front. Genesis trying to get that puck off a Stars stick, but they're unable to do it. And so it will be Stars firing in that puck on goal as if predicted by our on-screen scoreboard. Wrong button was pressed, but still a shot on goal from the Stars anyway. And now it's Genesis firing in. That's a shot block from Ramos. And the alternate captain will pour that puck forward just out of the reach of Rosick. And so it goes for an icing with 17:47 left to go in the first half. Defensive zone draw upcoming for the Stars. Now shots 8-4 on our board, 7-2 on the board in the rink. And a defensive zone draw upcoming, both in the Stars' favor, of course. And that tells the tale of the game so far, although a couple of high danger chances for both teams. Goaltenders playing a big game right now. Blowing a tire is Genesis. It's a 2-on-0 in the other direction. Bergman on the puck, leaves for Russo, and it's a poke check from the netminder from Genesis, and now it's Genesis in a mini break the other way. They fire in, they shoot, they score. Well, just like that, it is a 1-1 hockey game after Genesis scores on the breakaway. And their fortune can change just that fast in ice hockey, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly what happened there. And so 17.5 left to go. A lot of hockey upcoming. This is a tie ball game here in Aston, PA. This is O'Leary at the logo for the ensuing faceoff. Officials just working out the paperwork on the goal scoring and assists. In any event, Stars win that faceoff forward. Giving chase is Genesis. Stavios out there to try and pull it off the half wall. This will be Gorloff picking that puck up, sending it across near side of the ice. Gitman able to jam up any zone breakout. Good work by him to keep that puck in the zone. O'Leary now fires on it, works it up toward Kocher. Kocher back down to O'Leary. O'Leary spins it deeper, firing on the puck far side of the ice is Gitman, joined by Gorloff. Bouncing puck kicked in by Gorloff, who had lost his stick, gets it back, holds the zone, and works it over toward Kocher, who fires in. That's sticked aside by Genesis. Genesis again breaking out of the zone early. The Stars maybe using that to their advantage to keep the puck in the offensive end. And that shows just why there's been so much Stars zone time possession. But here's Genesis trying to get that puck in short side. Weiss had shut down the angle. And now Genesis fires in once more, trying to get that toward the net front. Centering pass doesn't connect. Genesis back on the puck. They work it up to the top of the near circle, but the Stars retrieve. And here comes Kocher with speed. Kocher all the way into the offensive end, all alone, shoots in, and it's frozen nicely by the Genesis netminder. So on the sequence, a couple of shots for the Stars and one for Genesis. And we get a stoppage in play with 16:14 left to go in the first. It'll be Nikolaitis, Bolognic, and Latovsky as the three forwards joined there by Viscoso and Ramos. Viscoso had an equipment issue, but it actually worked out in the Stars' favor because he was at center ice when that face-off win for the Stars came all the way back to the logo. It's now Latovsky for Bolognic. Latovsky on the puck. Bolognic sets up shop in the near circle. Give and go toward Nikolaitis. Nearly home for the Stars. Genesis will take over. Genesis all the way across the ice. They'll carry toward the offensive zone. Ramos turns to skate with his man. That puck chipped off a body, rolls in front. Weiss able to throw the stick and guide it over to the near corner. It's Latovsky in front of the camera well here. Tries to throw it toward his bench. Gets it back. Works it up. Joined by Nikolaitis now. Latovsky on the puck. Shoots in. Puck blocked. Thrown in front once more. Genesis clears the danger. And on the near side of the ice, they're going to send this one all the way down. It goes on net, so there'll be no icing as the Stars will have to pick it up in their own end. behind their net. They work it all the way up to the far side of the ice. Touches it farther, is Nikolaitis. As that puck sits at the Stars blue line, Genesis will dump in once more. Genesis playing a chip and chase game right now to get their changes in, but they're hopeful to keep possession of the puck in the offensive end or at least track it down. It's Lutovsky now in front of the cam well, works it across for Belonik. Belonik to pick up in the offensive end. Surveys his options, throws it all the way across. It's thrown in front by Nikolaitis just wide. Genesis on the breakout, can't quite get past Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis back on the puck, shoots just wide on the near side. He had the goaltender moving in the wrong direction. And what you've got to do as a shooter when the goaltenders are this good. It's the Stars keeping the zone. Kotcher able to dump that across all alone as Lutovsky throwing it in and a 5-bell save from the Genesis netminder. Oh boy, was that a save on the Lutovsky shot. And so he will get an offensive zone drop here and nothing more for the Stars just yet on the sequence. This is O'Leary at the dot, wins it up toward Rosick, and Rosick goes to work, works it up to Kotcher at the far point. Kotcher fires in, that puck was deflected just wide. Bizarro had awaited. Druta throws that across the crease, and now it's Kotcher keeping the zone momentarily. Dennis is able to pump that up and out, but getting back was O'Leary to cut out the threat. Dumped in once more. Bizarro first to the puck, pulls it off the boards, tries to touch it up toward Rosick, and Genesis able to corral on the near side. It's Genesis working it around now to the far side. O'Leary keeps the zone. O'Leary on the puck, tries to send it up to Druta, who is awaiting in the high slot. Two Genesis men had converged, but it was Rosick dropping a man on the far side of the ice to return control to the Stars. Puck pumped around to the near side in the defensive zone by the Stars. They find Bizarro to the Stars all the way across the ice. Picking that puck up with speed was Rosick momentarily. He kicks it to himself. He gets it back on the backhand, fires in. And it was a save from the Genesis netminder once more. Straight off the bench is Ramos. Works it over to Kotcher. Puck dumped in once more by the Stars. They'll give chase. O'Leary and Rosick out there now on the forecheck. Genesis will try the far side of the ice. Bouncing puck finds a Genesis man who gains the line, dumps in, and Genesis can complete their change. Ramos back toward the puck on the near side. O'Leary and Ramos sandwich a man in the defensive zone and get the puck past the blue line. Looking for Russo they were, as Genesis will take over at their own blue line. It's Genesis now on the puck, carrying it, trying to fire it in. Bergman able to block that dump in. That'll hurt, but Bergman had cut out the threat, and it was nicely done. Genesis now in the slot, though, turning, firing, bouncing puck over the cage on a deflection. Izakov has it back, sends it to the near side. He finds Bergman here in front of the camera well. Bergman carries into the offensive zone, goes around a man, side of the cage, looking for a trailer. In Russo, he finds Izakov, who carries it farther. Genesis all over him in the slot. Viscoso able to work the puck off the stick of his man, and it'll be Izakov sending it farther into the offensive end. Genesis takes over once more. Saucer pass doesn't connect for them. Picked up by Viscoso at his own blue line. Worked on over now for Kotcher, who feathers one up toward Russo. Bouncing puck at the logo, sits there momentarily, and the Stars able to work that puck into the offensive end and get a partial change out of it. Bergman still on the forecheck, near side of the ice. It's Genesis on the puck, trying to work it through the neutral zone. Bouncing puck, ping-pongs around a bit. Bergman gets it back. It's Bergman now on the puck, dances past a man and dumps in. Izakov gives chase. It's Izakov trying to get that puck up to Gorloff. He does deflect it in and saved twice by the Genesis goaltender. A wonderful set of saves there with 11:47 left to go in this first half. A couple of shots on goal by the Stars. They're sniffing around that twine. Is the team from Coney Island. Not yet able to put a second past the netminder, though. And so they'll have an offensive zone draw to try and get that right on the scoreboard here in Aston, PA. A 1-1 hockey game here from suburban Philly. Can't thank you enough for joining us. We are just past halfway through the first half. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing. But also, the first quarter of the game is over. Genesis goaltender just working on that equipment a little bit. Looks like the skate lace had come off. It's a bit of elastic, actually, for that netminder on the leg pad that keeps the leg pad tied to the skate. But he's happy to go on without it. And so this will be O'Leary at the dot. Wins it to himself. able to dump that puck in deeper, thought about a pass all the way across the ice to Gorloff, but made the smart play and the safe one. And now it's the Stars going to work in the offensive end, kept in by Kotcher. Giving chase on that far side was Davios, works it over to O'Leary. O'Leary able to kick the puck to himself at the end boards and come away with it. This time he does find Gorloff near side of the ice. Gorloff tries to carry it farther. He does. Throws it to some open ice on the far side. Davios first to it, and he can dump in. Stars happy with their possession game right now. Try and play most of this game in the offensive end, and good things will happen. It's Gitman on up for Kotcher. Kotcher fires in. That's deflected wide. O'Leary was lurking in the slot. So O'Leary back on the puck at the end boards. Works it over to Davios and then gets the puck right on back. O'Leary will turn in the near circle. He's got two Genesis players draped on him, and that puck's eventually going to float up and out of the zone, so Kotcher will give chase. So Leary dumping that puck just a bit farther. Genesis sends it to the far side of the ice. They can't get past Kotcher in his own zone. Kotcher works it up for O'Leary near side. O'Leary flicks that bouncing puck up. It hits a shin guard of a Genesis man who gains the line and dumps in. And Weiss out of his net to collect and leave for Gorloff. Nikolaitis sends that puck back toward Gorloff. Gorloff will cycle it over for O'Leary. O'Leary still on the puck there, works it over to Kotcher with some open ice. Kotcher on the puck, tries to shovel it up toward Lutovsky. A couple of Genesis men have other ideas. Genesis on the puck now in the offensive end. Near point, they'll fire in. That bouncing puck is blocked by Kotcher. Lutovsky tried a one-touch pass there. He nearly had Nikolaitis in full flight. Instead, it's Genesis back in the other direction. And tight. But Weiss able to make himself big, make the save, and keep this a tie hockey game with 9:53 remaining to go in this first half. Now it's a shot on goal for Genesis and an offensive zone draw upcoming for the team from Colmar, PA. Puck's drop, Genesis wins, fires it in, and hits a helmet in front, and it's the Stars who are first to it. They work it up toward Lutovsky. Lutovsky fires that up toward Viscoso, and Viscoso able to get that puck up and out. Genesis now on the puck at their own blue line, but it was Nikolaitis who was able to poke it off the stick of the Genesis man. It rolls to Lutovsky. Look out, Lutovsky goes around, and that puck gets caught under the leg pad of the Genesis netminder, a.k.a. saved by Genesis there. Lutovsky nearly in. There just wasn't enough daylight on the post on this side of the ice, and so it turns into a shot on goal by the Stars, nothing more than an offensive zone draw upcoming. This is Bolognic. He's got Lutovsky behind him. Nikolaitis in the slot. Viscoso and Ramos as the defenders. Puck sent deeper by the Stars. Genesis trying to get that puck out. It takes a deflection right in front of the net. Could have been a carbon copy of a broken play to score another goal for the Stars. Instead, it's a screen shot from Genesis in the other direction. Weiss gets down in a hurry, and it was a toe save and a butte. Now this will be Ramos skating this up and out of the zone. Diagonal pass connects for Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis settles that puck down, and then it's sent all the way across. He was looking for Bolognic in the low slot. Bouncing puck was hard to corral. Bolognic gets it back near side. All the way across that goes for Druda. Druda will dump on in. It's the Stars with possession. Nikolaitis circles at the circle, fires in. It was a screen shot, didn't quite get through. Druda able to keep the zone near side. Dumps in once more for Lutovsky. Rolling puck finds a Genesis stick, and they'll eject it to the blue line, but not out of the zone just yet. Stars have it back momentarily. It's Bolognic across for Druda. He gets handcuffed by the pass just a bit, and so the Stars have to vacate the zone. They do. It's a delayed offside here for Genesis. Stars touch up, and they can go for a change. Bolognic stays out the forecheck, as do Nikolaitis and Lutovsky. They break into the offensive end. It's Nikolaitis trying to go around the netminder. Puck sits in front. It's blocked by a Genesis defender. It's still loose, and then it's thrown in. Boy, oh boy, it was Lutovsky, and it was the Stars who just would not give up on that sequence until they found the back of the net. They would not be denied, and they were not denied. And so just like that, the Stars have reestablished their one-goal lead here on the ice. Looks like we're going to have a goaltender switch here for Genesis. Not due to play. The Genesis netminder has played very, very well. Looks like that equipment issue has caught up to him as he's going to check it out there behind the glass. Always hard when that skate tie comes undone because your leg pad does not sit on your leg comfortably and in fact can bounce around off each shot. And so goaltender being checked on the sideline, not for injury but for equipment troubles. And onward we'll play here as the other Genesis netminder comes in. This is Bergman taking that pass from the neutral zone and trying to work it deeper into the offensive end. Genesis instead tries to come in the other direction. Bergman picks a pocket, dumps on in, and Russo will be on the forecheck far side of the ice. This is now Genesis working it around deep in their own zone, carrying behind their net. Genesis works it up far side of the ice as we are under 8 minutes left to play here in the first half. Genesis all the way into the offensive zone, but just a bit offside with 7:35 remaining to go here in the first half. It'll be a neutral zone drop. And the Stars looking to add to their 1-goal lead as we tick down into the later part of this first half. A reminder, this is a triple header here on Midnight Sports. At 7:15, North Park back in action. Take on the Central Penn Panthers on, I believe, Rink 3 if you're just driving by the barn. Plenty of good seats available. But if you can't do that and want to stay on the couch, feel free to catch all the action right here on Midnight Sports. It's the Stars trying to get this puck out of the slot. O'Leary just would not be denied on his defensive efforts in the low slot, and he was able to work it around to the near side. It's now Rosick in full flight, far side of the ice. Everyone knows to stay out of his way when he gets up to full speed. It's Rosick still on the puck. He's skated about 300 feet to then leave the puck for Bizarro, who returns the pass. Now back down to Bizarro at the end boards, looking for O'Leary, back post. Bizarro maintains possession, throws it across for Ramos. Ramos is pinched all the way in, fired in. It was a one-timer, shot in by Rosick, and it was rejected by the Genesis netminder. The ensuing shot went wide. Bizarro on the forecheck. Genesis near side. They're going to fire it up to the top of the near circle and then skate it on out. It's Genesis back into the offensive end. They'll settle the puck there, send it all the way across, but it's Rosick able to pick that bouncing puck up and get it out of the zone right in front of the Stars bench. Genesis is on a delayed offside here, and so just a bit of jousting on the far side. We'll get a stoppage in play there as Ramos had locked his man up on that far side of the ice. 6:14 left to go in this first half. It's going to come all the way down, will the puck on the intentional offside touch-up by Genesis. And it will give Coach O'Brien a chance to roll Nikolaitis, Bolognic, and Latovsky out there for an offensive zone draw, backed up by Gorlov and Kocher. Far circle drop. This is Nikolaitis at the dot. Ties his man up. That puck's flicked up toward the blue line and then on out by Genesis. It's turning in to a 2-on-1, but Gorlov able to push his man wide, and now Genesis again on a delayed offside. That puck sent up and out of the zone. Genesis will control at their own blue line. Point to point they go. Does the team in white and green. Genesis skates it all the way to the near side. They try to dump in, but that puck ends up out of play. And we end up with a stoppage in play with 5:50 left to go here in the first half. This is Gorlov, Latovsky, Bolognic, and Nikolaitis out there, joined by Kocher. That puck dumped on in, and Weiss out of his cage to stop the puck for Kocher. Kocher cycles with Gorlov. Gorlov all the way over to the Zamboni doors, looking for Nikolaitis, who chops that puck farther. Up and out of the zone goes that puck, and then into the Genesis bench. Bolognic tried to pull it back into play, but instead that bouncing puck up and out of play, and so 5:33 remaining to go here in the first half. We've got a center ice drop coming on up. This is Bolognic at the dot. Genesis tries to win it forward, but the Stars through Kocher control. Left there for Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis back to Kocher. Right back to Nikolaitis in the slot. Shot and scored. Well, it was the captain doing the damage on the rush. And just like that, it was James Nicolaitis finding the back of the net and turning this into a 3-1 hockey game with 5:22 remaining to go in this first half. Now Genesis on the puck. They'll fire it off the glass after gaining the line and dump it on in. Weiss thought about playing it, left it for Ramos. Ramos over for Viscoso. Puck sits between a couple of skates there, and now the Stars look to get this puck up and out of the zone. Lutovsky does that with a little bit of help from Bologna. In front of the camera, well, it comes in Genesis possession. Genesis works it up right up the near side, but it's Bologna who finds that puck in the neutral zone and carries in deep. Genesis to the puck in the near corner. Bologna carries it farther there. Bouncing puck ends up finding a Genesis stick. It's Nicolaitis on the forecheck, forcing his man into an early pass. Home run pass, though, for Genesis doesn't connect. Here come the Stars right back in the other direction. That home run pass for Genesis, when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it leaves the Stars with sustained possession in the offensive zone and just sometimes neutral zone. In any event, it's the Stars working that puck deep, looking out front for the Stars for a pass. Instead, it's Ramos just touching the puck deeper in the zone to cut out any odd man rush. Here comes Genesis back in the other direction. Long shot in, sticked aside by Weiss. As the puck rolls to the near corner, Stars can pick it up with some speed. It's now the Stars sending it all the way across. Bologna finds Gitman there. Shot in, saved nicely by Genesis. Gitman gets the puck back, touches it deeper into the zone. Stars trying to set up a play on the far side. Bologna gets upended. No arm raised. The Stars fans were hollering for a call on that. Couldn't get it. And so this will be Nicolaitis now trying to throw that across. Saved not once but twice. And so it'll be Gitman trying to throw that out front. Bouncing puck misses all sticks. Stars will have to reset at center ice. Kotcher dumps that puck on in. Gitman gives chase. Bologna can go for a change. Druda out on the ice as that puck's going to come all the way down. No icing as it took a deflection after the Genesis pass. Struder to settle that puck down far side. Stars trying to work that puck up and out. They do across the blue line, giving chase once more. Is Druda in the neutral zone to try and jam up any zone break-in by Genesis. Kotcher pushes his man wide. Gitman for support. Stars pouring in now, trying to get this puck up and out. Genesis obviously doing the opposite. It's the Stars working that puck out. It was the headman pass for O'Leary that went just a little out of his reach. And the puck's going to cross the end line. And so we'll get a stoppage in play on a Stars icing. As soon as the clock in the rink gets shut off, we'll get ours set as well. 2:45 on the clock in the rink. And so the clock problem still plaguing this particular rink, but that does happen sometimes. In any event, it's Genesis winning that faceoff, working it deeper. Kotcher on the puck behind the net, working it on up toward Gitman on the near side. Genesis dumps in once more. Puck sits at the blue line. It's Gitman trying to get that puck past the blue line. He does. He finds O'Leary, who puts the puck on a string and carries it into the offensive end. It's O'Leary on the puck all the way across. He was looking for a trailer near side of the ice. Instead, Genesis tries a headman pass that doesn't connect. No icing there as Druda able to carry his man into the corner and then gets some support from Bergman. Bergman with the support over toward O'Leary, thrown in front. Stars first to it. And again, a headman pass doesn't connect there as it was nearly off to the races for Riley Bergman. Instead, with 2:05 remaining to go in this first half, it's an icing on the Stars and a defensive zone draw upcoming here from Aston, PA. Now, folks, a reminder, there'll be an ice cut in 2 minutes and 5 game seconds. That takes about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with all the second half action right here on Midnight Sport. All right, so face-off won there by the Stars, carried forward by Russo, and then Ramos tracks back for that puck and tries to leave for Bergman on the far side of the ice. It's Genesis firing it all the way across the blue paint, and now Genesis has that puck deeper in the zone until Izikov able to pick it up and fire it off a couple of shin guards up and out. It's a great zone clearance. Wasn't going to go for an icing, so he relieved some of the pressure on the Stars there. Now Genesis sends it right back in the other direction. This one will go for an icing with 1:33 remaining to go in this first half. It's an offensive zone draw upcoming for the Stars. Now this will be Lutovsky, Viscoso, Ramos, Bolonic, and Nikolaitis as the 5 skaters in navy blue. One there, up to Viscoso, fires in, puck sits in front. Stars trying to get a second bite at the apple. It's still loose, jabbed wide by the Stars. 3 shots on the sequence. Ramos able to keep the zone, fires it off a shin guard, throws it in just a bit deeper, but it'll be Genesis coming back in the other direction. Ramos jams up that zone break in nicely. And now the Stars will look to get the puck up and out of the zone. They do exactly that. Genesis to take over with 65 seconds remaining to go in this first half. Stars pick it up behind the net. Ramos throws a hit after releasing the puck. The man he hit was looking to do the same to him. Bolonic feathers a pass up toward Lutovsky, and that shot goes just high of the cage and eventually up into the netting off the Genesis save. And so it's an offensive zone draw upcoming for the Stars with a 2-goal lead, looking to add to it with 48 seconds remaining to go in this first half. This is Bolonic at the far dot. Puck sits there. It's racked deeper by the Stars. Genesis will try the near side of the ice, but it's Gorloff firing in. Saved nicely. Stars look to corral. Genesis will come away with it instead. It's Genesis in full flight, dumping that puck all the way in. But before they had gained center ice, and so with 34 seconds left to go, we'll do it all over again. In the offensive zone for the Stars. Far circle drop. It's a foul drop there as the players may have broken in just a little bit too soon. And this will be Bolonic at the dot. Nikolaitis to his left. Lutovsky in the slot. Kotcher creeps into the top of the near circle. And Gorloff stays back to prevent any break in the other direction. Zone clearance hits a skate. It'll come to the near half wall. Lutovsky bodies a man there. Nikolaitis tries to pass it back to Lutovsky. It hits a skate. Stars pick it right back up and dump on in. 20 seconds left to go here in the first half as the Stars try to get one more shot off. It's Lutovsky batting it all the way around. It comes out in front. It's shot and scored. Well, it was Bolonic who was able to pick up that loose puck with just 10 seconds remaining in this half and turn a 2-goal lead into a 3-goal lead for the team from Coney Island here in Aston, PA. Now the old 86, certainly 86th. Any chances of only having a 2-goal lead into halftime as he found the back of the net. And so that'll do it for the first half here from Aston, PA. It's Stars 4, Genesis 1. Stick around. We're going to put 25 minutes on the clock. Do it all over again in a moment. This is Midnight Sports.
Hockey fans, do you ever find yourself acting like, well, a hockey fan when you shouldn't? 9 out of 10 hockey fans admit to hockey fan behavior outside of the rink. From yelling at people dressed in black and white clothes to pounding on any glass they can find, hockey fans can have difficulty distinguishing good behavior from bad. That's why all of us at the Hockey Experts can help. We will show you that what may be appropriate at the rink is definitely not appropriate anywhere else. It's the Hockey Experts. Give us a call today. Don't use your own one phone call from jail. That should be your lawyer.
Hey folks, it's Rowdy Howdy here from Rowdy Howdy's Cars, Trucks, and SUVs. This weekend at Rowdy Howdy's, it's the Dog Days of Summer Sale. Come check out our fine automobiles while a pack of feral dogs checks you out. While legally we're no longer allowed to call these things cars, you should stop on by to chase some deals on these car-like products while the dogs chase you. It's the Dog Days of Summer Sale at Rowdy Howdy's, 1234 Fake Ad Boulevard, just off the highway, right past the biggest American flag you've ever seen. Rowdy Howdy's.
EJEPL just waiting for Genesis to come on back out of the locker room, and that's what they're doing this very moment. An active first half sees the Stars with a 4-1 lead in EJEPL game number 2 on the weekend for the team from Coney Island. A couple of goals from Al Matovsky, James Nicolaitis on the score sheet, and then Ryan Bolonik with 10 seconds left, able to increase the Stars' lead, and the Stars off their bench out here warming up for this second half. As you know, an abbreviated warm-up for any second half in an EJ game, but it'll be the Stars coming on out, getting a wave to the camera from the goal scorer with 10 seconds left in the first half. There's Bolonik with the wave to go along with the goal that made this a 4-1 hockey game. And so the Stars will get stretched out and get ready to go here for the 25 more game minutes on the clock from Aston, PA, here on a Saturday afternoon. Beautiful Saturday outside, even better inside. And so we can't thank you enough for joining us right here on Midnight Sports as we get set to bring you the thrilling conclusion of Game 2 of this October EJEPL Showcase for the Stars. Stars getting some last-minute strategy over at the bench. Coach O'Brien surely giving them a little more of the same advice that saw them take that 3-goal lead into halftime. And over the boards comes Latowski, Nicolaitis, Bolonik as the forwards. And it will be Kocher and Ramos as the defenders. And so just a little bit of skating around and getting warmed up. Some waves for the camera. Stars all smiles here to start the second half. And this will be Bolonik at the dot. Boards being pounded, goalies checked. We are off and running as Genesis tries to work that puck forward, but it's Latowski combining with Nicolaitis. Look out, Nicolaitis across. And that puck saved nicely. The original netminder for Genesis back in the blue paint after the equipment fix. And so onward we play here as the Stars keep the puck in the zone momentarily. Genesis will skate the other direction with some fresh ice and touch it on into the offensive zone. But it's Kocher with some back checking from Nicolaitis to cut out the threat. Genesis has to reset, unable to do so. It's Nicolaitis all the way across the logo, carries it there, and Genesis will have to dump in once more. Kocher picks up the puck with some speed up the near side. Kocher still on the puck, up the right wing, joined by Bolonik. Kocher all the way into the offensive end, throws it out front. It's sticked up in a side by the Genesis netminder, and the Stars able to maintain possession through Nicolaitis. He fires it in, and it's a glove save from the Genesis goaltender. And so a couple of shots on goal for that first shift. A minute in for the Stars to this second half. It'll be an offensive zone draw for the team in navy blue. We'll go ahead and get that L3 off the screen for you as well. Thanks again to the truck in Queens. You'd think you'd never seen a broadcast, and by never seen one, never provided one, that is me. But I promise you, I have given some broadcasts here on Midnight Sports. Apparently, just a little bit rusty, as I've left those graphics up just a little bit too long. But DB, thank you for the heads up. And we're going to have a face-off once that clock starts working on your screen. It's O'Leary at the dot. Puck dropped, one back to Drudo, fires in. It was Bizarro trying to chop that on net, and he just got a piece of it, but the Genesis netminder able to get enough of it to send it back in the other direction. It's Struda jamming up the zone break-in at first. Across comes Bizarro to take the puck off his man. O'Leary carries it farther. Bizarro able to bat that out of the air, and no hand pass as Genesis had touched the puck. Now O'Leary carrying it farther, leaving for Bizarro. Bizarro all the way across to Druda, on up to O'Leary. Leary touches it to himself into the offensive end. O'Leary pushed just wide, but he holds the zone in the near corner. It's O'Leary on the puck, sends it all the way around. He was looking for Bizarro. He gets it back from Bizarro, who throws it on up Near side of the ice to Rosick. Tries to go around a man, leaves for Druda. Druda fires in, and this will be Genesis far side of the ice. Able to get that puck up and out of the defensive zone. Setting right back up is Viscoso, touched farther by Rosick. It's now Genesis setting something up behind their net as the Stars were making a change, but they have it back to the Stars side of the cage. That puck shot and scored. Well, it was Dominic Pizarro on a tight angle shot. And he was able to find the back of the net as that puck ended up on his stick side of the cage. Able to use the decoy there in the slot and find the back of the net and turn this into a 5-1 hockey game. Just a couple of minutes into this second half. Ensuing faceoff sees the Stars corral it. It's Russo, Bergman up the right wing, joined by Izakov on that far side. Genesis tries to get the puck out, strong side of the ice. It was Russo's back check that keeps the puck in the zone. Izakov carries farther. Bergman now on the forecheck, bouncing puck. Captured by the Stars, dumped in deeper. Genesis surrounds it, and they're able to get the puck up and out. 2-on-2, back in the other direction. Getting back is Kocher and Ramos as that rolling puck goes harmlessly to the end boards. A good play there from Joseph Ramos to cut out the threat. Stars able to send that puck all the way up and out. Genesis collects in front of their own bench, and they work it farther forward. Kocher across to pick up that puck. Bergman all the way back to help him out as a defensive partner right now. And Kocher tries to get the puck up and out, but the linesman Skates had other ideas as Genesis surrounds him. He's still able to work it up to Bergman. Bergman looking for the zone breakout, pumped on up there by Izakov. And Russo gives chase on the forecheck. It's Genesis on the puck. They'll carry it into the offensive end. Soft shot goes wide on a deflection. Ramos able to jab that around toward the side of the cage. Bouncing puck's going to find Bergman, who looks up ice and sees Russo. Russo on the puck, gains the line. He'll dump in. It ends up, though, in the Genesis bench. And so with 21-23 left to go in this second half, should be a neutral zone drop. Stars with a 4-goal lead. Shots 27-12 on our board. 24-7 on the board in the rink, all in the Stars' favor as O'Leary awaits at the logo. Gitman to his right, Davios to his left. That puck's dumped on in. Weiss out of his cage, plays it softly to the corner, and he finds Viscoso, who works it up to the point. Genesis dumps in once more. Bouncing puck, shoveled aside there by Weiss, all the way up to the near half wall. Touched farther at the blue line, and it's Genesis dumping in once more. Viscoso gives chase all the way to that far half wall. He's able to rub his man out of the play, leaves for O'Leary, who sends to Gorlov. Gorlov on up, and this will be the Stars working that puck all the way up and out. It was Gitman with the zone clearance. Genesis has to reset. They do in front of the Stars bench as that puck comes all the way in on Weiss. He's able to shovel it aside for Gorlov. Gorlov on the forehand, reverses play on over. It's now the Stars through Davios working that puck up into the offensive end, but they hadn't gained the line, and so it'll go down as an icing on the Stars with 20-30 left to go in this second half. Well, folks, a reminder, 7:15 p.m. If you're just a midnight sports junkie, go ahead and tune in. It's North Park taking on the Central Penn Panthers to round out the midnight sports triple header here at Aston, PA, the IceWorks skating complex. Face-off win by the Stars. They'll work it up the near side of the ice. Jabbed on by Letowski. Not out just yet. It's the Stars, though, able to pump that puck up, too, in front of the camera well, and Genesis tries to send it back in the other direction. They do. Genesis skates it into the offensive end. They're surrounded by Stars there. All the way across it goes. It's Bolonic on a back check to cut out the threat. Genesis keeps the puck in the zone. Nikolaitis combines with Bolonic, and now off to the races is Letowski looking for the hat trick. That shot goes just wide as a stick gets broken on the far side of the ice. Genesis will have to find a new stick as they break out of the zone. Getting back is Gorlov. He's got Viscoso with him. Viscoso pushes his man wide. Into the offensive zone comes Genesis, but without much possession as the Stars surround the puck man. in the near corner. Gorloff able to pick up that puck at the end boards. Feathers it up to Latovsky. Latovsky looks up. He sees Nikolaitis far side of the ice. 2-on-2 again for the Stars. As they come into the offensive end, it's Latovsky firing in. Saved nicely by Genesis. And now Bolognic with the puck in the far corner. Puck rolls out to the slot. Genesis corrals. And this will be Genesis right back in the other direction. 2-on-2 of their own. Ramos pushes his man wide. That shot ends up going wide. Latovsky picks up that puck in stride. Gains center ice. He's got Nikolaitis up the left wing. Latovsky dances through two men. Shoots. And it goes just wide of the cage. Does the puck. Bolognic to pick up. Leaves for Latovsky. All the way. Nikolaitis that is. And Nikolaitis picks up that puck in the neutral zone and sends it on up. It's Bolognic in stride, joined by Nikolaitis there. Tries to fire in and hits a shin guard in front. Genesis to pick up once more. They try to go around Latovsky. They can't. Nikolaitis in full flight picks up that puck into the offensive end, into the slot, fires and scores. Well, it was the captain doing the damage, crossing the T in the slot. And just like that, the Stars have a 5-goal lead. They're now up by the same score that they won the previous contest against this Genesis team. And they'll look to continue getting to work on the scoreboard with 18:35 remaining to go in this game. It is the Stars trying to carry that puck forward. Instead, Genesis in tight. They shoot in, they score. Oh boy, what a shot from Genesis. They pick the top corner there. Turn this into a 6-2 hockey game. And just like that, back to a 4-goal lead for the Stars. And so Genesis just reminding the team from Brooklyn, it's not going anywhere just yet. A lot of hockey left to play with 18:25 left to go in this second half. Now this will be O'Leary at the drop, as he had a little bit of a joke, it looks like, for the official. Smiles all around at the drop. You love to see that. In any event, it's the Stars winning that puck forward. Druda able to hold up the puck in front of the scorer's bench, or booth, I should say, and now Bizarro and Rosick on the forecheck near side of the ice. Bizarro able to pull that puck off the back of the cage, and it'll roll up to Viscoso after some good back checking from Rosick. Bizarro in tight, tries that short angle shot again, nearly home, picking that little spot between the glove and the leg pad of the netminder. Now O'Leary, full speed, works that puck to the far side of the ice. He gets upended there. Pinching all the way in, though, to keep the zone was Druda, and O'Leary pops right back up, cycles it up to Druda at the half wall. It's a give and go. Now Bizarro in on the action, near side of the ice. It's Genesis, though, who's going to be able to get that puck up and out. And so the Stars have to reset. Bizarro on the forecheck in the offensive end. Genesis, far side of the ice now. Will try to get that past the blue line. They can't get past. Rosick at first. Bouncing puck does eventually come out of the zone. Stars have it right back in the neutral zone. It's a nice bounce pass over toward Rosick. Rosick shoots, and that puck ends up in the chest protector of the Genesis netminder, who had made himself huge on the Rosick wrist shot. And so just a shot on goal for the Stars with 17-17 left to go in this second half. Well, looks like we're going to start having some music in the rink as well. And so that will add a different element to the game, perhaps. It's a 2-on-1 back in the other direction. It's Genesis all the way across. It was Weiss with a big save on the redirect right in front. And so we'll have a defensive zone draw here after Weiss makes the save. That puck was filtered right across the blue paint. He was able to match speed with the puck. And so it's Genesis firing all the way across. The music continues in the rink. The officials cannot figure out where it's coming from. A huge hit by Nico Viscoso. Upends a man at the blue line. Oh boy, you could feel it from here. Check your Richter scales, because that was an absolute monster of a hit. Stars still with possession of the puck in the zone, but we're going to see here as it's going to be a call, it looks like. And as there are a few players who may be headed to the box. We'll see who the call is against. Looks like Bergman going to the box for the Stars. A Genesis player also in the box. And so it looks like it'll be 5-on-5 hockey out there for both teams. As Bergman will take a seat in the box. Might get a center ice drop. It's up to the officials here as to where they may drop the puck. They blew the whistle while it was in the Genesis end, so it'll be the neutral zone, but closer to the Genesis end of the ice. It's going to be Gitman, O'Leary, Davios, Kocher, and Ramos as the 5 skaters. So just an explanation going on at the Genesis bench right now as to the call. And explanation over with a bit of a shrug from the official. And we're just about ready to roll, but the explanation now does, in fact, continue at the Genesis bench and with the scorekeeper, it should be said, as that is the easiest way to speak to the scorekeeper. So just trying to wipe the penalty from the board because it's 5-on-5 hockey here. Both players from each team to the box, but they'll only be able to leave the box once the whistle goes after 2 minutes. Otherwise, it'd be 6 skaters and a goalie on the ice for each team, which might be fun to watch, but is definitely against the rules. In any event, it's Genesis taking that face-off all the way back into their zone. Kocher able to keep the zone, feathers one in. It's kicked aside by the Genesis netminder. Davios carries it farther for a moment, but Genesis will break out in the other direction. Only so far as Ramos, who's going to find Kocher near side of the ice. It's the Stars trying to work that puck up and out. They do through Ramos. Ramos with speed through the neutral zone into the offensive end. And he fires in. And it's saved nicely by the Genesis netminder on a tight angle shot. And it's Genesis looking to work that puck up and out. Can't get past the point. Sent all the way over from Gitman toward Kocher, who fires in. Gitman gets that puck back off a blocked shot from a defender in the Genesis net front. It's now Genesis trying to get that puck up and out. They cycle it deeper to try and find some open ice and work it over to that far half wall, does Genesis. Still in the defensive zone for Genesis as they throw it up near side of the ice. Diagonal pass connects. Genesis all the way across into the offensive end. They fire in. Weiss able to make the save there and leave for a defender. Genesis sends that deeper. It's a blocked shot all the way across it comes. It would have taken a baseball swing to get that puck into the back of the net. And Genesis unable to connect. Fired in once more. It's Weiss with a big save, and Viscoso upends a man in front to clear the danger. That goes for an icing. The Stars don't care, though, as Viscoso, again, just snatching souls out there, able to clear the crease and keep this a 4-goal hockey game, which is to say Weiss probably would have had the save anyway, but Viscoso was not taking any chances. And so, defensive zone draw on the Stars icing coming up with 15:04 remaining to go in this second half. We tick on towards 6 p.m. on the East Coast here from Aston, PA. This will be Bolognic at the dot, chipping it up toward the slot and carried farther by Latovsky. It's Latovsky. It's a breakaway for Latovsky. All the way in he goes. He shoots and he scores. Well, there was no doubt about that one. And Latovsky with the hattie. He wasn't going to let the goaltender beat him to that far post this time, or near post, I should say, as he was able to find the back of the net and chalk off his 3rd goal on the day. And so all of a sudden, it's Stars 7, Genesis 2. Bolognic at the dot. Clean win back to Viscoso. Viscoso corrals, works it up softly toward Latovsky, who gets a touch on it, so there will be no icing on the Stars. Nikolaitis and Bolonik on the forecheck far side of the ice. Bouncing puck's going to find Letofsky, who keeps the zone, sends it in deeper, looking for Nikolaitis. That one's sticked aside by the Genesis netminder. Nikolaitis up to Gorlov. Gorlov fires in. Bouncing puck sticked up in the air by the Genesis netminder. Letofsky to collect near side. Works it on down toward Nikolaitis. That puck sits in the near corner. Genesis trying to get it away from the goal mouth as it bounces, and it's corralled there by Nikolaitis. We'll see. Played by a high stick. And so it's going to be a face-off all the way down in the defensive end. And still a few more chuckles with the officials, between the Stars and the officials. You do love to see that kind of camaraderie on the ice. Sometimes it is a fractious relationship between players and the officials. It's been anything but here from both teams to the officials today, and it's a wonderful sight to see. In any event, Genesis takes that face-off in the offensive zone. They throw off the side iron of the cage, and so it's Nikolaitis trying to clear this puck on up and out. He does with some help from Letofsky and Bolonik. Letofsky carries into the offensive end, tries to leave there for Bolonik, who was going full speed. He gets upended into the boards, but no worse for the wear, and now Letofsky able to hold the zone and dumps on in. Nikolaitis jousting with his man in the corner there, leaves for Letofsky. Letofsky on over toward Bolonik, who tried to pull the trigger on that. Genesis able to push that puck up and out of the zone. Genesis all the way into the offensive zone, but it was Nikolaitis who got back and touched up. And we'll see. Might be going to the box here. Or perhaps just an offside. There was no arm raised, and so Genesis offside as they got too close to the puck. It was a delayed offside. And this will be O'Leary, far side of the neutral zone, right in front of the Stars bench. It's Pizarro and Rosick as the wingers, Kocher and Ramos as the defenders. Weiss out of his cage to stop that puck for Kocher. O'Leary in for support. Rosick fires it all the way across, and it'll be Pizarro chasing that down. Strange hop off the paint on the boards, but Pizarro does enough to dump that puck all the way in and get it back after the Rosick stick lift shot in just across. It was Rosick who nearly found the back of the net, across the face of the goal, and it ended up just wide, did the shot. So Kocher retrieved, carries it into the offensive end. Pizarro to pick up. He fires across the goal mouth, and it's Kocher to keep the zone. Kocher on the puck, fires in. That takes a deflection in front, comes up to a Star, shot and scored. Well, it was Derek O'Leary who found the back of the net there on the rebound. And just like that, well, looks like we still have the Letofsky breakaway, which was so pretty. We can show it twice, but O'Leary, the goal scorer in that sequence, and the clock starting to run here in Aston, PA. We'll see if that keeps up, and we'll match our clock to it. But O'Leary on the scoreboard there, and the score sheet stretching the Stars lead 2-6. O'Leary taking a hit, but dumping on in, giving chase is Rosick. Had lined up his man. His man thought for a check, but Rosick just to try and pull the puck off him. Here comes Genesis back in the other direction, way out of his cage is Weiss. And it's a good, brave save there from Johnny Weiss to come all the way out to the hash marks to make that save. And the clock does, in fact, continue to run. And so we'll try to match all the way down to 11:30 right now is the clock in the rink. It's the Stars trying to get that puck up and out of the zone. Instead, though, Genesis dumps it just a bit deeper. So O'Leary picks up that puck, and he'll turn behind his own cage with the puck and send it on over to Druda on the near side. Druda on up, and that puck from Rosick to Pizarro to O'Leary, who nearly splits both defenders. A last-minute stick, sees that puck come off his stick, and Pizarro gets it back at the blue line. Pizarro trying to find some space to operate at the blue line. He does. He rounds a man. In tight comes Pizarro. He shoots, and it's saved by the Genesis netminder. And the Stars try to go back to work. It's O'Leary toward the slot He was looking for Viscoso there. Instead, Genesis comes back in the other direction. It's now Genesis in that far corner looking for a trailer, but they were making a change, and there were no white sweaters in the vicinity. They'll mark it down for an intentional grounding, I suppose. In any event, this is the Stars coming back in the other direction. Viscoso and O'Leary on the rush. Across for O'Leary, just out of his reach. He's able to settle the puck in the near corner. So O'Leary on the puck, cycling it just a bit deeper. Genesis trying to get the puck out of the zone on the far side of the ice. Russo to pick up there. Genesis right back on the puck on that far side. They skate forward. It's a 1-on-3 for Genesis. They'll dump in softly and give chase. Drew to back for it, and he works it around to the far side of the ice where he finds Russo. Russo on up to Izakov, joined by Bergman. Izakov into the offensive end. Weaving are the Stars and trying to confuse Genesis as they gain the offensive end. Russo tries to work that puck out to the top of the far circle. Genesis able to get it out of the zone, but only so far as Kotcher at his own blue line. Kotcher across for Viscoso. Viscoso on up. He's going to find Russo there. Russo has Bergman in the offensive zone now. Leaves for Izakov, who shoots in, and that's covered up by the Genesis goaltender. It goes for a shot on goal. Nothing more just yet, though, as it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Stars and an 8-2 lead for the team in blue and orange. This is Izakov at the dot. Bergman on his right and Russo on his left. Ramos and Kotcher. Ramos fires in, wide of the cage, keeps the puck in the zone though. Kotcher's pinched in, leaves for Izakov, shot in once more. Genesis able to save. Bergman picks up that puck, works it deeper in the zone. Puck sits in the corner until it comes out front from the stick of Izakov. He was looking for Bergman just out of his reach. Russo keeps the zone, gets it back, throws it toward the slot once more. Izakov throws it out front, and it was just a little too hot to handle. Now Genesis comes back in the other direction. It's Genesis carrying all the way into the offensive end, walking the blue line, and then leaving at the far point. Genesis on the puck. They try to get it just a bit deeper. The Stars converge on it in the slot, fired in high of the cage. And Genesis to pick up at that near half wall. Kotcher will pick it up from the back of the net. He's got no stick. He kicks it over to himself. He was looking for some support there as Genesis picks up that puck, but only so far as the Stars in Ramos is able to send that all the way down on net. And so onward we play. 8 minutes left to go in this one as the Stars able to jam things up in the neutral zone. It's O'Leary into the offensive end. O'Leary there, fires in. Puck sits in front, still loose in front, and then covered up on the Davios rebound shot. And so a couple of shots on goal by the Stars in an offensive zone draw with a running clock coming up. Well, assuming results hold, it'll be the second win of the day here for the Stars, just what they needed in the EJ standings. 6 points on a Saturday is a good way to go. But of course, still 7:15 left to play in this game. And if you've watched youth hockey once, you've watched it a ton. Crazy things can happen. But again, the Stars in total control of this one, so much so that the officials and teams have agreed to keep the clock running. In any event, it's Genesis trying to come back in the other direction, but offside. It was good work by Gorloff and a back-checking Davios to make Genesis run offside. And now we do have a clock stoppage with 6:56 left to go. And so truly dealer's choice as to when the clock is going to stop and when it's not here in the rink. It's O'Leary now winning that face-off forward. Genesis controls, and they'll dump on in once they gain the line. Bouncing puck all the way across toward Gorloff, and the zone breakout is on for the Stars. O'Leary for Gitman tries to return the pass. A collision at center ice. Genesis will come back in the other direction, only so far as Viscoso with a poke check, who sends that puck to the stick of Gorloff. Gorloff on the puck, tries to work it up that far half wall. He does, touched farther by O'Leary, and Genesis has to reset. Genesis back into the offensive end. They're on the forehand. In tight, they tried the tic-tac-toe pass across. Can't quite get it to work, and so this will be Gitman working that puck up and out, and now it's Litovsky all alone in the offensive end. Letowski there, he shoots, and it's saved by the Genesis netminder, as is the follow-up on the Gorloff shot. Puck sits at the end boards. Genesis to collect. Genesis now on the near half wall, and they'll work that puck up and out, but it's going to be settled by Gorloff. Steph Gorloff now takes that puck all the way behind his cage to let the Stars get set up. Works it up toward Letowski. Letowski on the breakout for Bolognic. He's got Nikolaitis ahead of him. It's Bolognic into the offensive end, joined there by Nikolaitis. And the last man back for Genesis, able to send that puck over to the near half wall. Nikolaitis works it up for Viscoso, who fires it in front. It's Letowski. He is saved by the Genesis netminder, his shot that is. And now turning and firing for the Stars. That puck didn't quite get through. Bolognic able to dump that puck in just a bit deeper. It's Nikolaitis calling for it in front. Letowski able to get it to his skate, but not his stick, given the passing lane afforded by Genesis. And so it's a puck that comes all the way back into the Stars end. Patra able to work it off the boards for Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis on the puck, sends it across for Bolognic. Bolognic leaves for Nikolaitis. Nikolaitis was pouring forward on that puck, but it ended up just a bit offside for the Stars, so a couple of shots in the sequence. Nothing more for the team from Coney Island. It'll be a far side neutral zone drop with 4:40 left to go in this game. It's O'Leary at the dot. Wins that cleanly on over toward Druda. Druda fires it forward, and now the Stars able to carry it forward into the offensive end. It's Dominic Bizarro. He shoots it. Well, it's a 9-2 hockey game here in Aston, PA, and we're under 4 minutes left to play. Despite what the clock on your screen shows, it's about 3:45 in the rink. Steph Gorloff to track this puck down and work it over for O'Leary on the near side of the ice. Thrown all the way across and sent up and out by the Stars. It's Pizarro able to pick up that puck in the neutral zone and hit a man who was coming for him. It's Gorloff now up the near side of the ice. Carries into the offensive end, joined by Rosick. And O'Leary on that near side comes all the way across for Druda, who fires in. That's kicked aside by the Genesis netminder. Down toward 3:15 left to play in this game. Puck whipped up to Gorloff at the near point, all the way across for Druda. One-timer goes just wide. It's Rosick on the puck now, near half wall. Rosick there, stops, delays, goes around a man, curls to the top of the circle, pushes it over for Druda, who fires in once more just wide of the cage. He was looking for O'Leary back post. It was just out of his reach. Rosick back on it, deflection carried in, and it was blockered aside by the Genesis netminder. Now Bizarro fires on it on that far side of the ice. 2:38 left to play in this game as the Stars, shooting in once more, hit the face mask of the Genesis netminder and perhaps the crossbar as well. That puck goes up into the rafters, and so we get a stoppage in play. It's a beautiful ice complex here on this rink number 1. The ceiling a little bit low, or at least lower than some of the other rinks, and so easy to get a cleared puck up into the rafters. That's exactly what happened as the clock continues to tick on down here in Pennsylvania. 2:05 left to play here. It's a 9-2 lead for the Stars. They've got Snyder Hockey and same Genesis parent club tomorrow. It's Genesis Diamond 1 tomorrow. This is Genesis Diamond 2. And so just a little bit of paperwork to be done here, as it looks like a couple of players might go to the box. At the very least, it looks like Bergman taking the skate on over to the box as the clock continues to tick here in Aston, PA. Faceoff will go all the way down to the Stars' end. And it looks like Bergman's going to the box for high sticking. And so that will probably conclude his action in this game, unless, of course, Genesis scores. But Just a minor penalty to Bergman there. 5-on-4 coming up for Genesis. That puck chipped up to the slot. Genesis fires in wide of the cage once more. And the Stars look to clear. It was Izikov trying to get past his man. Off the outside of the iron goes that shot from Genesis. And they'll set something up all the way across. Weiss goes post to post. And he makes the save. Oh boy, what a save. He gets the pound on the boards from his goaltender duo. Patrick Donaghy in the box. And he deserves every bit of that cheer because he got post to post and kept this a 7-goal game. Certainly wouldn't have mattered in the ultimate outcome, but it was quite a save near the end in this 5-on-4. It's Genesis trying to get one more scoring opportunity out of this one as we tick under 20 seconds left to play. Genesis in the slot. They'll shoot that wide. And that rolling puck will come up all the way to the near point. The Stars trying to push the puck on up and out. Genesis has it back side of the cage. And it's a windmill save for Johnny Weiss. That'll do it. We've gone final here in Aston, PA. It's the Stars 9, the Genesis Hockey Club 2. Thanks so much for tuning in for Game 2 of our triple header here on Midnight Sports. After this one, go ahead and hit that refresh button if you want to catch North Park and the Central Penn Panthers coming up at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, stay safe.